Hello, my name is Tony Frisella with Frisella Nursery, and today I want to talk to you about some common questions or concerns that we get from a lot of our customers when it comes to evergreens. I just recently got a phone call a few days ago asking about why their spruce was looking so bad, and they said even with all the rain we had a few weeks ago, I don't understand why it's dry. Well, what a lot of people don't realize is currently right now there's still a lot of, we're still behind a lot of rainfall. If you dig down just 18 inches, the ground in many cases is still bone dry, and for evergreens heading into the winter time, this is actually pretty detrimental. And so one thing we commonly recommend is to take a hose and put it at the base of the tree and let it just barely trickle out for anywhere between 6 to 10 hours. Now in this case, what I did here was, this is kind of a little cheat trick if you wanted to, is I have something a very simple nozzle on the end of it so I can control the water if I want to, but I want to get it so that way if I just put it against my hand, just barely trickles out, and I can leave it at the base of the tree for anywhere from 6 to 10 hours, all depending on the size of the tree and the situation of the tree. Now in this case, if this was a new landscaping, this is a hedge, and whether the plant has been there for a year or even 2 years, this is pretty important. It doesn't really necessarily have the root system to support the dry, cold winters, because in the winter time, the cold, dry winds, all this foliage acts just like a massive straw, taking all the water out of the ground. So that's why it's very important that the evergreens have ample amount of water, not drowning them, not sitting in water, but ample amount of water as we head into the actual winter time. And it wouldn't even hurt if for the first year, if this is the plant's first year in the landscape, you might even have to put some water on them in the middle of winter time, January, February. Sometimes we get these warm-up days where it's 50, sometimes 60 degrees. It doesn't hurt to get a little water in the landscape just to make sure that water is available for the plant itself. Because even if it freezes the top few inches, you still have all the unfrozen ground underneath to store that water. Second thing that we always seem to get questions about is, why is my evergreen dying? It's not dying in most cases. So you can see on the ground here, there's a lot of shed that happen with these evergreens, and these arborvitaes here. This is very common. So this is a Tetany arborvitae, and most of the shed has dropped now, but a lot of times there's so much yellow, you can see a little bit here, there's so much yellow in the foliage, everybody thinks their plant is dying, and in some cases without asking, they put more water on it or they stop watering it, and it's usually whatever the plant shouldn't have that ends up happening. So don't overthink if there's too much shed. Pines are notorious for this as well. Arborvitaes and pines typically are going to shed every year. Spruce will shed every other year, and they don't shed as profusely as some of these evergreens here. So just a couple things for you to keep an eye out, to be aware of. If that's been on your mind, feel free to give us a call. You call us 636-798-2555 or visit us online, and you can email us help@frisellanursery.com. We'd love to answer any and all of your plant questions and help you be successful in your yard.